Joe, second half, you guys were shooting almost exclusively three-pointers. I know you talk about take what the defense gives you, but were you satisfied with the shot selection in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, obviously, over the course of the game, you always can find, 5-10 shots that you want to be better at. But, I thought throughout the night, for the most part, we fought for good looks, throughout the game. But, yeah, I mean, you can find 5 to 10 that we could be better at.
And so after you guys go up 20, what changed in what they were doing to walk that lead down?
Yeah, I mean, I think we left some of their some of their good shooters open. I think Anunoby went on a small run by himself. So some personnel stuff. They were able to get out in transition off of some of our misses, and then I think they had a 5-0 run off of offensive rebounds. Just so detailed stuff that we have to be able to be better at. And I thought we missed. If you look at that run, I thought we missed some good ones, and I thought there was obviously a few that we could fight to get better on.
Joe, can you just take us through the end of overtime there, the taking a timeout with 3 seconds left? Were you thinking about taking it earlier in that situation, or did you just want to kind of see how it played out?
No, I mean, in regulation, when you call it, they're taking both Towns and Brunson out of the game. And so, I felt like we had speed there to be able to get something with 2 left. We can go get a layup with one of those 2 guys on the floor that would give us a chance to extend the game. Then I was at half court probably around 8 or 9 calling it. They didn't see it, and then they ended up fouling, and so we used it there. So just a feel thing of knowing that when you call it, they're going to go to their defensive lineup, and could we get something quick, in transition.
And what were you trying to do in the last play of overtime there? With the way they just would have defended the play to pass to Jaylen?
Yeah, just to read. Jaylen's great in space. They're going to foul in that situation, so it's got to be catch and shoot. So just to read to try to create space, get a quick catch and shoot for Jaylen. Ran that play a few times. I think he was able to get some good separation on there. Bridges made a good play.
Joe, Kristaps left with the illness. How is he doing, and how much did that affect what you guys wanted to do the rest of the game?
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet, but we'll check on him. But, I mean, obviously it impacts the game with his ability on both ends of the floor. And, it obviously changes sub-patterns. It changes the things that, you're able to do matchup-wise and play call frequency-wise. So, yeah, I mean, I think we felt, but, it's no excuse. We had plenty of opportunities to do it, and hopefully he's ready for game 2. I mean, I found out during the game, so, as soon as I found out, we made the adjustment. But, I'll check on him here before we leave.
Joe, 19 of your 20 shots in the third quarter were threes. When you take 20 free throws in the first half and you take, I think, 6 in the second half in overtime, do you need to switch up sometimes when shots aren't going down? It just seemed like no one was on, and they kept going up. I mean, how do you approach that when you look and none of your guys are hitting threes? They're good looks and they're open, but it seemed like the more success was attacking the rim.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, like we said, whether it's possession, shots, things, you could always find 5-10 that you could be better at. So to me, I look at the process and the shot quality. So our shot quality was high. The points in the paint were even. We shot one more layup than they did. We shot 10 non-paint twos. They shot, much more than that. And so you have to take a look at the process of what we're trying to accomplish. And, we were able to accomplish good results for the most part. And like I said, there's probably, 8 to 10 shots that we could be better at for sure.
You scored 30 points in the last 22 minutes, I want to say. Is that just missed shots? Is that bad offense? Like, why did the offense completely shut down midway third quarter?
Probably a combination of both. Have to have better play calling, have to make shots, have to make some better reads. So it's probably a combination of all those things. Have to be better.
What do you feel like in that second half on those 8 to 10 shots you guys had to do differently in terms of maybe accessing the paint or just getting inside on them? Did their defense change at all in that second half?
No, I mean, without watching it, 8 to 10, it could be a little bit less, it could be a little bit more. At the end of the day, you have to make the ones when you're open. And you have to trust the process of what you do, and the process of our shot quality was good. And, it's the margins and the stuff that put pressure on your shot quality, whether it's your transition defense, your rebounding, your defending without fouling, and your attention to detail on personnel. All those things play a part in putting pressure on, the process of what you're trying to do on the offensive end.
What happened with Sam? How's he doing?
I think he hurt his ankle, landed on it. I'll check on him here before we leave. But I think I didn't see the play, but I think he sprained his ankle.
Joe, their help and recovers to try to keep JT from getting deep into the paint. They were able to kind of get back to those shooters. Just how does their defensive length, how is that different than maybe a lot of other defenses, and how did you try to pry that open?
Yeah, I mean, they do a good job of, sometimes they put two on the ball, sometimes they don't. They do a good job of making multiple efforts, protecting the paint and getting out. And so that's where you have to make the shots when you're open, and then you have to make the closeout read at times, So they do a good job of that. We just have to be better at making that read from time to time.
Joe, you guys obviously bounce back all the time from things like this. Just kind of your general emotions as you sit here and kind of stuff happens in the playoffs as you look ahead.
Look at the process. So again, there's whether you win or lose, there's possessions that you have to get better at. The staff, I'll get better at the things that we need to. We'll look at the attention to detail stuff that we have, and then we'll look at the process of what we did and see where we need to get better at it. So we'll do that tomorrow.
This is the first time you guys have trailed in the series dating back to 2023. What type of perspective do you want your players to have now? Do you want them to be desperate? Do you want them to be calm? Like, how do you want them to feel after this one and go into
just process oriented? What did we do well? Where do we have to be better? I mean, just sticking to the process, attention to detail, and the things that we have to get better at.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Questions for Jaylen? Jaylen, as you guys built that 75-55 lead, your offensive rating was somewhere around 120. After that, it dropped to about 76, which is kind of unheard of. What happened after you guys got up to that 20-point lead?
I'm not sure. I think we're going to take a look at the film tomorrow and see what kind of happened there.
Was there any sort of feeling that, once you got up to 20, maybe you guys got away from the things that were working? I mean, you guys shot almost exclusively three-pointers after that. I mean, you guys are a very high-volume three-point shooting team, but you never shoot like 85% of your shots from three. Were you guys going for like a knockout punch? Was there a feeling on the floor of anything like that?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think we got to look at it. Some of them felt good. Some of them felt like we maybe forced the issue. And definitely our rhythm and our timing was a little bit off. We got a lot of great looks. But, it may be some truth to that. We got to look at the film and see kind of what happened in that second half.
Jaylen, there's always some level of shooting variance with threes, but it felt like as that run was going on, you guys were missing some shots maybe you usually make, and they were coming back and hitting big shots. How much does momentum play a part in that, both not only for you guys maybe losing confidence, but more so them gaining the confidence of, okay, we're finally back in this and the ball is rolling?
Yeah, no, they definitely had momentum in the second half. They had some tough plays, hit some tough shots. Anunoby, Brunson, in combination made some tough shots down the stretch. We just gotta look at it and be better and get ready for game 2.
What's the challenge of combating momentum in those spots, just mentally and on the court, everything like that?
Yeah, in those moments when the other team got momentum, we can't just fire up threes. To break up momentum, you got to get to the free throw line, get to the paint, get to the basket, maybe get a easy 2. You know what I mean? Hit some free throws, and then maybe the next three-pointer feels a little bit better. I feel like we just settled in the second half a lot. But we'll look at it, and we'll make adjustments.
Jaylen, can you just take us through the last 15 seconds of overtime there? Joe eventually calls a timeout with 3 seconds left. Were you expecting a timeout earlier there? Were you kind of just expecting a foul from the next? Take us through your kind of thought process as that went down.
Yeah, I mean, we called timeout. Maybe it could have been a little sooner, but we had 3 seconds on the clock, plenty enough to get a good look at the rim. I wasn't able to get that, so yeah, that was it.
In the second quarter, you had a lot of success attacking inside the arc, and then in the second half and overtime, only took 3 shots from there. What was at the root of that change?
I'm not sure. I definitely thought I had some good looks from three that I'm looking forward to in game 2. But we'll take a look at it and we'll see. I don't know yet. I don't know.
And then Drew Holiday had 16 points in his return tonight and really made life difficult for Brunson at the defensive end. What did you see from him in his return?
Drew looked good. Drew made plays, offensive rebound after offensive rebound that gave us a chance to get in the game. He made some big plays down the stretch that, we needed. Hit a big 3 to put us up. Also, score some baskets in the game. So Drew had a great return. So we're just looking forward to game 2. Obviously, it stings. We feel like we let our home crowd down, but we're looking ready. We're looking forward to game 2.
You guys didn't trail in any playoff series last season. How do you personally react to being down in a series? How does your team need to respond to being in this situation that's uncomfortable for this group, even though obviously you guys have done it plenty of times way in the past?
Yeah, you take a look at it and you learn what you can learn from it. Obviously, we had a historic night of missed 3-pointers, et cetera. We'll take a look and kind of see what the energy was. But in reality, you almost got to have a short-term memory, throw it away, get ready for game 2. We don't have time to let stuff carry over. So, we make adjustments and we come ready to play on our home floor.
Jaylen, what did they do defensively against you guys? What did you see from their defense that maybe caused you to shoot some of those? And how did that compare to the last series and maybe the way Orlando guarded you?
Orlando kind of, took the 3-point line away. It felt like tonight they were kind of daring us to shoot. Like they wanted us to shoot those shots. And we didn't make them tonight. But I felt like we had a ton of good looks. Some maybe we forced up and we settled for sure. And we'll look at those and be better at those. But, that's an abnormal game for us in terms of shooting the basketball. And all our guys we trust. We got great shooters on this team. So we'll look at the film as a team, and then we'll approach it that way and move forward.
Last question, Gary. Jaylen, on the left-handed drive to the basket that you missed, did you feel like there was contact? Did you feel like there was a foul late in overtime?
It's the playoffs, so you know what I mean. Any play, every play, you could probably say that. I just got to finish that. That was it. My momentum took me a little further than I would have liked, and it, made it a little harder. But still a play I could finish. That's on me.
You guys take a lot of threes. You guys led the league. It's what you do. How tough is it mid-game to kind of switch to okay, this isn't working. Let's attack the basket. In the first half, you guys shot 20 free throws. And in the second half, you guys were taking a lot of threes. I mean, how tough is it mid-game to go, okay, this might not be effective. Let's attack the rim, attack the paint?
I don't think it's hard at all. It's just being able to recognize it, just being poised enough to recognize when to take it and when not to take it. I don't think we did a good job of that tonight, of seeing the game, understanding the game. It's just we were just firing it up for whatever reason, and we gotta find them better in rhythm, get to the paint, get a paint touch, get to the free throw line, and those threes feel a little bit better. But we'll look at it. Obviously, we was excited, came out to start the second round of the playoffs, but we got to play with more poise than we did tonight.
Thank you, John.
On the podium. John.
Jayson, obviously the big story is the collapse after 75-55. Your offense completely disappeared. Your 3-point volume went way, way up. What happened? What were you guys seeing on the floor that led to that many 3-pointers?
Probably some times that we settled. I think for myself, I could have put more pressure on the rim. But there was a lot of times we felt like we got some really, really good looks, and we just couldn't convert.
There's always, when we talk about a 3-point volume like this, there's the balance between good looks or going good to great. Did you guys feel like you passed up good to great? Were you guys maybe going for a knockout punch, going for a kill instead of continuing what you guys were successful with?
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a lot of shots that we We want certain guys taking and, feel like we got some good looks. Obviously, in hindsight, if we could go back, we probably would drive the ball a little bit more because we missed a lot of shots tonight. But, there's a balance. Sometimes, it's a make or miss lead. And then there's sometimes where, you can get a better shot.
Jayson, usually when you cross-match hunt, you can kind of get deep enough into the paint to really draw over rotation. What were they able to do to kind of not get all the way shifted, and how good are their weak side guys at really closing out off of that?
You got to give them credit. It's a really talented team on both ends of the floor, well connected, and they make it tough. So you just got to be really intentional about what you're trying to do and, who you're trying to attack or what action we want in those moments.
Jayson, when you guys are going through that stretch where the threes aren't falling and then they're coming back and making all those shots, how much do you think that momentum improved their confidence, and how difficult is it for you guys or any team really to combat when a team, gets going like that in the momentum?
It's a really good team. It's a game of runs. They made some plays. They had some shots. And we responded. We gave ourselves a chance. But we just gotta be better in the margins.
Jayson, your looks in particular. Did you like your 3-point looks? They left you open. They let you get some. And how are defenses defending you at the three? Are they giving you certain shots you just don't think you can pass up? How has kind of the defensive method against you this year, especially in the last few weeks, been in terms of shooting a three?
I like a lot of the looks I took tonight. Some I settled. I gotta be better in some of those moments. Just be a little more intentional. And
in terms of how do you not let your frustrating with lack of calls prevent you from attacking if you don't think you're going to get a call? Is that connected at all?
No, that don't connect. It's the playoffs. We probably should just play without the refs. It's how physical it is. So that don't really cross my mind at all.
Drew had 16 points and really made life difficult for Brunson at the defensive end. Just what did you see from him overall and the impact he had in his return?
Drew's being Drew Holiday. The Swiss Army knife, the guy that does a little bit of everything for us. And I was excited. Everybody was excited that, he's back and was able to play tonight. You thought you settled at times. Were the two switches late in regulation some of those times? And then when you get Brunson, and I think it was Robinson on the other one, what are you looking to get there? Or what are you trying to accomplish there in those matchups? Just make the right read, whatever that may be. A shot for me, a good shot for me might be different than for somebody else. And like I said, man, you can always go back and look and see what you should have done differently, and that's the case for, a lot of times, and a lot of shots that felt good that just didn't go in, and that's part of it.
Last question.
Jayson, the Celtics lead the Knicks 20 points at the third quarter, and this situation happened at the last game when you're playing Magic. What are some differences when you're playing those two teams?
It's a new series, different team, different matchups. And we focus on the Knicks right now. So, just get better and watch some film and get ready for the next game.